All right. Hey, everybody at Tadlock. This is Mr. White, and I'm talking to the actual artist, Drigo, about his
Hey,
paintings. Hello,
what's up,
Drigo.
y'all?
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going good. We're all checking you out on the computers now, and it's the way it is. So,
Yes.
so a lot of the kids had questions about your art, and a couple of the most major questions that I noticed is what we'll bring up. So first off, a lot of kids were
Sure.
wondering about how long it took to paint that skate park at Four Down.
Um, a lot of people have been surprised because I pulled it off in I believe it was 5 days,
Wow.
um, which was pretty quick. But I had a team of about 5 people helping me every night. So we would get there because it was super hot while we were painting.
Oh, what time
It
of
was
year was it?
September, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, that's really
I
hot.
think. Yeah, so it was like 100 plus every night. But I had a team of people, so we'd get there around like 7 or 8 when an hour before like the sun was down. So we kind of got that shade, and then we would paint until midnight to like 2 a.m. And of course, it was really cool because being at Four Down, we would take breaks. We paint for a while. Our back would hurt a little bit or whatever, and so we'd take a break. But our breaks was really like we didn't sit down. We'd go skate the bowl, or we'd go like skate the indoor or something. So it was really cool to like be able to merge those two and go back and forth between skating and art, two things that I love. But yeah, 5 days total, long
That's great.
days.
That's great. Did you hear that, kids? Skate breaks in between painting. That's awesome. That's the
It's
best.
essential.
All right, a lot of kids have been asking about this. Who are your influences when you approach your art? Who are you influenced by?
Right. So some of the huge influences for me are Revoke, Jason Revoke.
Okay.
He's uh he's started out as a graffiti writer and kind of transitioned into contemporary art.
Okay.
Um, so he's a big influence. Same with like Cause, really big influence of mine.
Oh yeah,
Love his work.
I like cause too.
Followed him for a long time. Yeah. And he again he kind of started, he was a big player in that art scene, transitioning from like graffiti into like uh the limelight, shown in big galleries and museums and stuff like that. And then another favorite of mine is Frank Stella. He I've always been obsessed with his big shaped canvases and
Yeah.
just the simplicity of them. And like while not all of my work is minimal like that, I do enjoy like kind of using, kind of like with the skate park, using just elements and making them larger than life.
Okay.
But yeah, those are a few of the big influences, and then also skateboard culture. Mark Gonzalez,
Of course.
love love that dude. Love his artwork. Also the colors that he uses. Him as a person, super, you know, wacky, cool,
Yeah.
skater. But skateboard culture was a big player, and kind of introducing me into art. Because really the first introduction, which I didn't really think of it this way, but like drawing on my grip tape, or like trying to make my
Right.
board, or however, that was really the first time I started playing with art. And I started skating, I think, when I was like 10 or 11 years old.
Okay.
So
This sounds really
yeah,
similar. When I was about, well, a little bit
yeah,
older, maybe 14 or 15, I was doing the same stuff with my skateboard and
right, yeah.
art and stuff
And
in high school. So yeah.
yeah, and everyone's like trying to, who's got the coolest grip tape or whatever. Um, and then like really, I mean, I never really considered that until like now, probably a few years ago. I started thinking about like that really was what kind of got the creative juices flowing for me. Because I would tell people I started making art, my senior year in high school,
Yeah.
around 2012. But in reality, I was making art, so when I started skateboarding.
Yeah.
but yeah. And
Okay.
then I do graphic design as well, so that's also influences my work a lot, I think.
Okay. Thanks. And let's see. Another thing the kids were asking about. Okay, this goes deep. The meaning of the I in your work, and also
Right.
the polka dots too.
Okay, so the eye and the polka dots. The eye, to me, it doesn't. A lot of people ask if it's the evil eye or what it is, but I think of it more of like an eye of consciousness. It's something. It's a reminder to keep an open mind and to be aware. That's what it represents for me and
So
my
keep
work.
your eyes open to keep an open mind when you're looking at things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, that's just it's for a long time. It's been a reoccurring theme in my work, and really, it's open to interpretation. But for me, that's the reason I use it.
Okay. What
And
about
then,
polka dots?
yeah, the polka dots. So the polka dots, obviously, they're polka dots. They're aesthetically pleasing. It's a pattern, but further than that, it's representative of the ability to adapt.
Okay.
So, you think of like a chameleon or like the octopuses that can change their entire skin tone
Yeah.
to like, thin or like whatever. But it really just represents like adaptability, and that's something that I think is extremely important. Is
Especially
being
as skaters, you always have to adapt to whatever the
exactly,
situation is.
exactly, and get creative with everything. So that's what it is to me, and obviously I love polka dots. It's a simple. If you're ever in doubt, throw some polka dots on
Hey,
it.
you hear that, kids? If you're ever in doubt, throw the polka dots on it. Mr. White's seal of approval right there. You go for it.
Exactly. You heard it here first.
All right. Well, thank you, Drigo. Any last words you want to tell the kids at Tadlock?
um, yeah, I mean, just keep creating. Always, whenever you're creating, try not to be influenced. It's good to have influences, but try to always be original. Everything that you're making should be an interpretation of the way you see it. Never try to make something because someone else is doing it. Be your own person, be different. It's super
Yeah.
cool. But
Awesome.
yeah, that's
Thank you
cool.
very, very much, Mr. Drigo.
Yeah, thank you guys.